Hey guys, what's up? Hey, welcome back to our small group study, and welcome to week 1 of our series Fake, where we're discussing what it is and what it looks like to be a real follower of Jesus, to be really, truly devoted to following God and giving your life to Him. Hey, in week 1, what we've talked about is this. We talked about 4 different chairs, okay? We gave this example of 4 different chairs, and the people that represent each of those chairs, the people that sit in those chairs. And what we talked about was this, okay? Well, we started off with this verse out of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. So let's check that out real quick. Starting in verse 1, Paul writes to his student Timothy and says this: "You should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times. For people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and hate what is good. They will betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God. They will act religious." And listen up here for a second. They will act religious, but they will reject the power that could make them godly. Stay away from people like that. And that's what Paul writes to Timothy and warns him. Timothy is a young pastor. Timothy is a student that Paul raised up to lead this church. He says, Timothy, there are going to be these people that look religious. They look like Christians. They act like Christians, but they're not really following Jesus. And he says, stay away from people like that. Like, if we polled the room that you're in right now, if we asked everybody, maybe you're watching this by yourself, but if you were in a group setting, and we polled the room and said, hey, who wants fake friends? Nobody would say that. We all want real, authentic people and relationships and friends in our lives. And Jesus wants real, devoted followers of Him. Okay, and what we talked about tonight was this. We talked about 4 chairs, and we'll just run through those really quick, okay? Chair number 1 was this person that is a real follower of Jesus, okay? This person, though, okay, they make mistakes. They mess up, okay? It happens. But this person is fully committed to Jesus, okay? They're asking, how can I grow in my relationship with God? How can I take next steps, okay? What is my next step in my relationship with Jesus, okay? If you haven't accepted Jesus, your first step is to accept Him. To talk with an adult, a leader, a pastor, and say, hey, I want to accept Jesus, and to do that first. And after that, your next step would be baptism, okay? If you're in this room or you're watching this video and you haven't been baptized, but you've accepted Jesus, that's your next step. You need to go ahead and do that. You need to say, hey, I want to be baptized, and you need to do that, all right? And then following that, you need to serve, and you need to take other steps and say, how can Jesus use me to spread His name so that other people will know the love of Jesus, all right? So that's what the first chair is. They're a real follower of Jesus. They're a person who makes mistakes, but they have given their life to Jesus, all right? The second person is interesting, okay? The second person is someone who's been really excited about Jesus at some point in their life, but they've kind of walked away. They've said, I like Jesus, but I also like to do this stuff. Like, I like to party. I like to drink on the weekends. I like to do stuff that is sinful that I know I shouldn't. And they do these things that pull them away from Jesus, but all the while they say, well, I'm a Christian, They had this really hyped up Jesus moment, maybe at camp, maybe at a youth group, maybe at a conference or something, but they haven't really given everything to Him, okay? This person, I'll be honest, I don't know if this person makes it into heaven. Okay, chair number 1, this person who's given everything to Jesus and is actively following Him, this person will stand with Jesus one day. But chair number 2, I don't know, okay? All right, and moving on to chair number 3. Chair number 3 is this person that has a knowledge about Jesus, like maybe they've been to a youth group at some point or something, but they've never really had this moment where they give everything over to Jesus, okay? This person knows about religious things, and this person probably even posts, an Instagram story or a Snapchat story or something on Facebook, when something bad happens, they're like, hey, prayers up, prayers for you, whatever, prayers needed, or something bad happens, heaven just gained another angel, and they say these Christian religious sounding things, but they don't really care about what Jesus says about their life, all right? So number 3 is a person who is not a Christian, okay? They are not a Christian. They know about Jesus, but they've never said yes to Him. All right, and then chair number 4 is very interesting. Chair number 4 is a person who is not a Christian, but is asking questions. They want to know more about Jesus. They want to know more about why the people in chair number 1, why their lives look different. And they start to ask these questions, and they wonder about God and about something more, because the Bible says in Ecclesiastes that our hearts have been wired to know that there's something more to life, okay? So this person is not a Christian, but they're asking questions. And what's dangerous, though, is this person looks at chair 2 and 3 people, and they say, should I become a Christian? Chair number 2 and 3 people kind of do the same thing. And it's really dangerous, because a lot of chair number 4 people say no to Jesus because the behavior and the lifestyles of chairs 2 and 3, okay? But the reality is that if you're watching this video, my hope is that you are a chair 1 person, or that you strive to be, or that you end up being a chair 1 person, a real follower of Jesus. And that's my hope and desire for all of us, so that one day when we stand before Jesus, he welcomes us in to heaven and perfection with him for eternity. And that's my hope. Now, but here's what I want to do today in our Bible study, in our small group study of sorts, is I just want to kind of reflect, and I want you to take a moment, just like 30 seconds, to think, what chair am I in? Because if you're a middle school or high school student, you need to really consider that. Because I know that myself, when I was in high school, I wasn't a chair 1 person. I wasn't a devoted follower of Jesus. In fact, I was a chair 2 person. But the reality is that Jesus wants us all to be a chair 1 person. So I want you to answer this question, okay? Chair number 1 people, their lives are different. Their lives demand an explanation, okay? Now, does your life, I want you to think about this, does your life demand an explanation, okay? And then as a group, or if you're in a group, I want you to discuss this. What does that look like? What does a chair number 1 person's life look like? How is their life different than all the people in all the other chairs? How are they different, okay? Is there more joy? Do they love people better? Do they love people like Jesus does? Okay? What chair are you in? Okay? What does a chair number 1 person's life look like? Okay? All right. And then the last thing I want you to do is I want you to think about someone you can talk to about next steps. If you're in chair 2, 3, or 4, I want you to understand this, that you need to talk to somebody about becoming a chair 1 person, about becoming a follower of Jesus, about taking next steps. You can't just do it on your own. Jesus didn't design us for that. He made us to be a part of a family. And you need to find people who love you and care about you in your life to help you take those next steps. And that's my prayer for you, if you're watching this video, that you are taking next steps and becoming a follower of Jesus.